Dom Kennedy's on Ebro in the morning.
He's not a murderer or a killer.
You're not, right? No?
Nah.
But he's a nice guy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
How are you today?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
What brings you to New York City?
We was in Baltimore the other day to Electro. Came up here doing some things, getting some things done.
You are a beloved rapper.
Thank you.
Like people that love Dom, like they love Dom. They ride for Dom Kennedy.
Facto.
I appreciate it.
Like it's like a thing.
I appreciate it.
Do you feel like, I mean, obviously in LA with that scene, especially the underground scene there, do you feel like, what's your next, I mean, obviously it's to get more mainstream, et cetera, and you make mainstream records. Yeah. But what do you think is the obstacle in Dom Kennedy getting
telling
to the
a
next
full
level?
story, telling a full story. You know what I'm saying? Like I've noticed, you know, that it was a point where none of this was possible. You know what I'm saying? And like now it's become possible. So it's like interesting, but it's like, you know, it's LA and it's Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And it's those are two different places. You know, and I think more of the LA story, as the LA story develops now, like how the day I started, like, it's no way to tell that one without me in there. You know what I'm saying? It's not no way to tell that one.
And because when the new LA movement, you was at the forefront. And there's obviously, you know, Kendrick and others have gone on and have mainstream success, but Dom is still working on that. But what do you think has slowed that down for you?
Advertising. You know what I'm
Marketing.
saying? Advertising, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Just as a person who understands the game, you know, advertising. But it's also worked to my benefit too, because of like what you mentioned earlier about having fans that do know about your music. My percentages is high, so it's like
You mean the people that love you, the level that they're willing to support you.
You know what I'm saying? Like without anything, you know what I'm saying? I could do it in Cleveland, I could do it in LA, I could do it in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I could do it in New York. Doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? You can't really say that for everybody.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
look, things that blow up fast come down fast. That's you know what I mean. That's a real thing in anything.
I wouldn't know, you know what I mean? Honestly.
Well, you
I didn't blow up fast, so
exactly. You've been working.
Like,
you've been grinding.
I don't know.
How long? When did it start? When did the real music grind start for you?
Actually, making music seriously about 2006, 2005, 2006 is when I decided, you know, to you know, go in this way with my life. You know, 2008 I put out my first project though, my first piece of music. 2010 I started making money.
And what were you doing before you were making music? Were you just in school? Like, did you have a plan otherwise? Did you have any?
Really, I was just a regular kid in LA, man. Honestly, like I loved rap, you know, because I grew up in the times of, you know, I'm a black kid in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't nothing special, you know. Everybody could rap a little bit, you know. So at that time, if you would have came around and you said you was a rapper, I would have had something better than you, but that wouldn't mean I was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never considered myself a rapper, you know?
Why? Just because you felt like everyone could rap a little bit, so it didn't make you a rapper that you could rap a little bit.
Yeah, and like, honestly, I was a kid when, like, Big Daddy Kane was on TV. So that was a rapper to me. You know what I'm saying? Eazy-E, like, I didn't see the Stride Compton movie because I saw the real one. You know what I'm saying? So when Eazy-E was on TV, that was a rapper to me. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was a rapper. I never looked at myself like, you know, until I got older and I started to see like what was going on. Like, then honestly, I just didn't like no music.
What do you mean? Oh,
I started making music because I didn't like no music that was out.
He's like, oh,
I didn't hear no LA music, so I put LA in music industry. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really matter to me that. It would never occur to me that like it would come back around to this when I started, but I just wanted to hear LA.
Do you like it better now that LA is popping, or did you like it better, if you're being totally honest with yourself, when you were the only thing popping in LA?
No, I was never the only thing popping in LA.
I mean, that mid-2000s was it was slow.
Before I came out, like, I remember the first time being in the back of like barbershop in my hood and people talk about Nipsey.
Yeah, I guess Nipsey. I was gonna say Nipsey's the one who crossed over with you.
Glasses, yeah.
You know, he had a song that we was playing when I was just riding with the homie in a busted Yukon. You know what I'm saying? Paying my gas bill at the Crenshaw Mall. Glasses Malone was getting $2 million. Feel me? So I was really there.
So you literally did not see, nor do you have an interest in seeing the movie. You felt like you didn't want to mess up the image in your head of
No. It's just It's like, you know, I don't know.
Didn't feel the need to rush out and see a story already there.
Nah, yeah, I watched the real one. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I didn't.
How big a fan were you as a kid?
Of what?
Of NWA and of LA hip hop.
Loved it, man. Loved it. It was like it was a weird feeling, you know, because a lot of those places, like where movies was, like you know, Minister Society. That was like places where I went and I lived. You know, like I lived in the neighborhood. Lamar Park is where Moesha takes place. But as a kid, I didn't really look at like I lived there with my sister and my mom. Like this is a fake show. I just looked at it like a kid, like oh, it's just on TV. You feel me? So I see Brandy at the mall, like, but I really lived where they was doing the fake show. You know what I'm saying? For real.
But you didn't really process it.
Exactly.
So
until like later, and then I'm like, damn, them dudes not really gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? For real. Like, Men's Society, them dudes is actors. Like, we live better than that. 5 years ago, I had more than dog. You know what I'm saying? It came and everybody. You know what I'm saying? In the movie. And it's like that. They made a movie about that. You feel me?
Do
So
you
it happened a long time ago, dog. I understand the entertainment, but the movie we gonna make is gonna be way better.
Dom Kennedy announces biopic on
nah.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming
like
to theaters
that.
this winter.
Not even like that, but I'm saying like let the story come out. Like what we talking about?
Yeah.
Like Kendrick, he just started doing his thing. Like my mom, my dad, and Kendrick dad know each other from Compton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I seen that man at 16 passing out CDs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when people say, oh, it's like, it's not like that to me. Like, he just starting out, like, he might have 15 more years. We gonna do it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way of knowing.
Like, let that happen.
You're not in, and I think coming full, so you're not in a hurry.
Nah,
you're
where
not in no
going?
hurry.
Yeah, what have somebody did that we never saw before? Nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Nothing.
Yeah, I respect that.
Honestly, like,
well,
nothing.
people
I watch TV. I see everybody video. I hear everybody CD just like people hear my shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if it worked that way, it gotta work the other way too, right?
Well, for people who don't have a fan base yet, and I know this from experience from artists that I've known who are really good but don't have a fan base, but they have people around them who know they're good. Maybe we know them, we know they're good. It doesn't happen. You feel like they're in a rush and they don't want it to go away because they don't have it yet. But once you already have something that's building and growing, you're right. What is the point of trying to make some huge splash that's very hard to follow up?
Yeah,
that was sort of the biggest challenge I thought Kendrick was going to have, which of course he managed to surpass.
Because it's the music, man. It's just honestly, when you're talented and we really love what you do, it's like it's easy to cut through a lot of stuff, you know. And I had to, and that's what being me and in my circumstance of not having a major record deal has afforded me. It's forced me to be a great artist, and I wasn't that before. And I understand that a lot of people, they look at like you don't know your flaws. It's like, just because I don't say nothing, like, I don't care. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a song again. What have people done?
Well,
that
you also have
nobody can't do. You know what I mean?
You have the luxury, like you said, you got your first check in 2010. You started making money?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, doing shows.
I mean, whatever the check was, it was more than what you was making before 2010. So now you can look at a calendar in your iPhone and be like, oh, okay, I got money coming in all of these days. And that also helps you relax a little bit and enjoy the moment and do your music because you know where your next paycheck is coming from. A lot of rappers don't know. They don't know.
Exactly. You just get into something that you not really, you know what I mean? You're like, whoa. Now you got more shit going out than coming in.
Yeah.
Every day, instead of, like you said, looking at your phone like we got a show there. You know what I mean? We could put out. It's more freedom. You know.
If you were to try to explain to like an alien who wasn't able to listen to or have a process over time what makes hip hop different, how would you describe what makes the LA MC different than the New York MC? Because I love both so much. I always have.
Me too.
But there is a difference, and it's hard to pinpoint sometimes what that is.
What you saying? What you want me to, like, technically, or what? Or what
sure.
Do you mean? Like today?
If I don't know the difference, can you articulate it? How about that?
I would say, like, man, it's just a difference of perspective. Like, I met Nas, you know, in the last couple of months, and you know, he said what he liked about me was like information. And that's how I looked at it as a kid. You know, I was inspired in my neighborhood. I hung with older guys that rapped, you know, and it wasn't until I heard them on the cassette and they said, well, Lamar Park. you know? Because when I used to kick it with them, they used to listen to Mobb Deep, and we loved it. And I was a little guy, so when Mobb Deep said Queens, 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 we knew we didn't live in Queens, but we was listening to something, you know what I mean? Getting a story, so it's really not no difference. That's the beauty about today is it's like it's really not no difference. It's just we want to hear your story, so you know, because in some way it's gonna help us. It's supposed to. That's what rap is supposed to be, right? Hip hop music's supposed to be.
Well, yeah,
you know? And in the way that it started, like we sharing stories, we sharing information, and hopefully what this person tell this person will help us come together and do something better than, you know, the people before us did. That's how I look at it.
Let's take it a step further. On the music making side, not the rhymes part of it. Just let's talk about the music, because we hear a lot from New York MCs and the rap community. Yeah. Obviously that, you know, the music is not the same. So you have artists out right now that are doing well for themselves, whether it's Bronson, whether it's Joel Ortiz, whether it's Flatbush Zombies, whether it's hell, French Montana, Joey Badass, right? But then you have people who are older that's like, yeah, but it's not the same, right? It's not like the 90s.
Well, it never will be.
Well, that's my point. But for you as a kid from LA, do you feel that pressure from the local community to even try to be like 90s LA rap, or is that not a pressure that's put on you as a young artist out of LA?
Maybe when you first start, but it's something that probably you put on yourself, I would maybe say. You know, it's a mentality, and the ones that's successful, obviously, is the people that break out of that, you know, and the ones that say, you know what, that can't really help us no more, you know, whether it be somebody like Rocky, you know, coming from New York side.
He was like, fuck it, I'm doing my own thing.
Exactly, and it's like people might say like he don't have a traditional, you know, sound of what New York is, but it's not, the past really can't help you in a way. Like it can, but it can't, you know, once you get into music, like you have to add something different, you know. And sometimes with a lot of dudes in today's times, like people just take a little bit of whatever they feel, you know. But it's really about who gonna do something next. You know, that's the, nobody could come in. You can't come in and make a CD like Dipset probably if you're a New York crew. Like you wouldn't want to. And you can't come out in LA and make a CD like NWA and you wouldn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like you could, but it's like you would be, that's somebody.
That's corny, first of all.
It happened a long time ago. You know what I mean?
And if you're not contributing something new to keep things moving forward.
So even if you get it off for a little bit, it's going to catch up with you. You know, it might work for a little while, but it'll catch up with you.
So does Dom Kennedy go to someone musically? Like you got your rap thing. Do you have somebody in your crew? Where do you go for your production? How are you finding music, making music? What's your...
Today, I mess with my homies, man, that we just make music on the spot most of the time, majority of the time. Like the new music that you will be hearing and that's on by Dom Kennedy is like a lot of stuff is like just telling, man, I go to people one-on-one, listen to stuff. You know, Jake One did some beats, let's say, and he's in Seattle. So when I get to Seattle, I'll just go sit with him and just listen because, like, the email thing and all, it's just too, you know, I'm past that.
You need a personal.
I'm past that. Yeah, I'm past that. And it's like, and we looking for more of a feeling. And it's kind of good. It's not a bad thing that rap has evolved past the point of, you know, what it was when it started. Like, I don't feel like it will ever be the same. In a lot of ways, it's over, honestly. Like, what with the foundation of what we were saying and, like, even probably the stories part. That's what y'all talking about. You know, now it's just like music. Like, what is it? You know, anybody could make a song. It's like everybody sound like everything. That's kind of the consensus. Even now I hear from people, you know, people will be in the studio and say, I was in the studio with so-and-so, and they said everybody sound the same. And it's like.
I think you know, being around this for a long time, you know, there was always people who sounded the same.
Exactly.
And then there were, in that section of people that sounded like there's the superstar that breaks out of a certain sound. And everybody's not going to be the biggest rapper, right? It's not, everybody don't win. That's how you have winners and losers, right?
Exactly.
I do believe that, you know, with where we are digitally, with everything you can do on YouTube, on your laptop, the barriers to entry, there aren't any, right? So anybody could rap, anybody could put a song up on YouTube, anybody could make a beat, anybody could do anything. The question becomes, as you put, what's your marketing strategy? And then who are you as a person that people are going to fall in love or even give a fuck about your perspective so that when you tell your story over some amazing music, it is leagues beyond what someone else can offer, right? I think that's where we are in hip-hop today. Because there's a lot of listen, man, there's a lot of fucking dope MCs out here that's saying great words. There's not a lot of people who know how to get producers or a team to make their stories matter that much more, right? The collective group of saying, yo, your perspective is dope. Here's the music that goes with your sound.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I've been good at being able to do what you said to this point and to get the fans I have, because I've always been in love with production and like picking beats and doing and putting a sound together. Like people was aware of that. And then at a certain point, you know, after rhyming and paying attention, like I kind of started to put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a corner that you got to turn in. One of the things that brought me to that was like on my last CD, if y'all heard it, I got a song, Thank You Biggie. And that's why I have that song on there. You know what I'm saying? Is because I feel like Biggie was the first person to do exactly what you saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
well, because he had Puff.
You know what I'm saying?
And Puff was like, yo, your street raps is amazing.
Exactly.
But when you rock over these break beats and these melodies, you're gonna give people another feeling.
And start right here and stop right here.
Yeah.
Basically, it wasn't even that hard. Yeah. Start right here and stop right here. Say as much fly shit as you can.
Exactly.
That's it. It's not even hard. Honestly, that's why you laughed. It's not hard. It's not a hard job.
But do you ever give young up and coming producers? Do you look for a different sound? Do you give other people a chance? Because you say you have your go-to people, right? People that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I wouldn't just say I listen to everybody's beats, you know, but yeah, definitely. I got dudes all type of levels, you know, like from a young dude, early 20s on the last album I had, you know, to my boy Jay Pounds, who probably been playing since church music, you know, so understands music, and to somebody who don't, where I'm telling the homies like, he don't even know how to count, listen to this, like the bars is off, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, you know, it's all stuff, because you got to go with what feels right too. You know, that's the special thing. It's like about rapping and music that we do, is like it's rooted in the streets, and it's rooted in, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're not perfect. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. It has to feel good, and it has to be honest. And a lot of times, just a moment, it's like trying to capture, you know, fire in a jar, I guess, you know what I'm saying, and bring it to a building every night and open it up. You know what I'm saying?
Lightning
That's
in a bottle, as they say.
Yeah, and trying to open it up, and it's not something that, you know, that everybody can understand, but it's like the great people, like how, you know, Puff getting with Biggie and stuff like that, and it's people that do it, but it's like that's the ultimate goal, is to be a great MC and tell stories, you know, but doing more music that everybody that could take us all to the highest level and put us all in respectable situations.
Why do you choose the summer? What is it about Dom Kennedy that means like every summer
I first started doing music, I felt like it was a good time, because I used to play baseball. Honestly, that was the only thing I ever did besides music, like seriously, that I ever loved. So it was just a natural springtime reaction for me to get going, and I used to just like the feeling of when I first was putting out tapes for free. You know, I felt like it spread more for me, you know, and the energy was better for me in like March and April. But now it doesn't matter, honestly. It don't even matter. Like, as soon as
but By Dom Kennedy dropped in June, right?
In June. The one before Get Home Safe was in October. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, it was.
So it's like, even then, and that's when I really started noticing people were saying that to me a lot when I was putting that one out in October. And I was just like, man, it really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make good songs. And
well, October's like gearing up for the World Series, and in June it's like.
Do you occupy a weird space where, in one moment, people come up to you and are like, "Oh my God, Dom Kennedy, your music changed my whole life," and they want to take a picture and they're fainting, and then you could go 2 days and not bump into anyone who knows you at all and live a sort of in between super famous and normal situation?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Like no days or spaces in between no more, especially in Los Angeles. But I know what you're saying. Yes.
But I mean, I guess if you were like here, you could bury yourself somewhere on the East Coast and be pretty good.
A lot of places. I'm definitely well aware of that. Like, I feel like it's.
Is that nice? Is it nice? Yeah. Is it nice to be able to turn it off a little bit?
It is. Not to. I mean, I don't look at it like that. I just look at it like, you know, it is. I look at it like, if you know who I am, that say more about you too. That let me know something about you. You know what I'm saying? Like a girl, you know, girls have told me like, oh, you didn't know, like, I was going to, you know, meet you. I was like, you didn't know I made that song 2 years ago, so you can come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like that.
That's pimpish. That's real pimpish.
Like,
that's an LA thing.
Talking about, you know what I mean?
Like,
that
was real pimpish.
You know,
you didn't
like,
know 2 years ago that I was
gonna
fuck you after I made that song.
You can't let people know, like, y'all can kick it, y'all can't kick it. It's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't even like. I don't. You know.
Yo, your friends in the back laughing because they know you be on some pimp shit.
No, they
you didn't know I was gonna get you out your panties 2 years ago when I wrote that song.
Nah, they wasn't nothing like that. But you know, I'm just trying to explain. But you know, but yes, definitely. I definitely noticed that.
So,
you know?
Ebro, we got to play this record. He's got a dope record out right now. Too Bad.
Yeah.
Which I think could definitely move.
Thank you.
So we should.
What's the record about? Who produced it? Put the whole, you know.
Mike and Keys, man. They produced a lot of Get Home Safely. They only got one on by Dom Kennedy, Too Bad, featuring Tish Hyman. She's from the Bronx.
Yeah, she is.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's that Subway Art record we playing out here. Yeah, I love that record.
Hell yeah.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Dom Kennedy, man. Good meeting you, bro. Good talk.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming by, bro.